Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, April 4th, and today we do the Rody update. We do the wheel update. We do the options update, even some high yielders. Why not? Why not? Seriously, why not? Anyway, sorry I'm late for the people here live. But yeah, let's get to it. Bitcoin update. Not bad over the past 24 hours. Little green, but still in the 66 range, so not anything impressive. Nothing to look at in the stock market, so let's just get right to the file and see how we did for the week. All right. So real quick recap. I do several options plays each week. One being the Rody, which, think of it like it's like a poor man's covered call, except I add a credit put spread to the mix of it, which, it helps offset the expense of the long call and protects some of the downside, right? Some of the downside. If you just buy a call, yeah, it's expensive, but there's, your downside is your expense, and that's it, and it ends there. But once you sell a put, yeah, you're on the hook, brother. But we don't just sell a put. We buy a put with the sold put, and we make sure we know, okay, this is going to be our downside, and this is what we can live with. All right, drinking coffee. Cheers, everyone. So let's see how we did this week. So anyway, I do the Rody as the main play. Main focus going forward is indexes, and I also doing the wheel strategy, and I'm also considering, I think what Rob from StockTools.app invented. I don't know if he invented it, but it's called, he calls it the Theta Fortress. I don't know, but basically, sorry, you buy a stock and then you buy a put at a strike price higher than where you bought the stock. And this, again, the idea behind this, it protects you on the downside, right? Because obviously, again, and then you have to make the money though for the put by selling calls on the shares that you just bought. I don't know. It's just, I haven't really dove into it. I may entertain it on a very cheap stock and this week and just add it to the mix. Instead of, I was thinking like Robinhood, and I'm like, yeah, that's way too damn expensive. But like BBAI, something like that, that's cheap. Like maybe I could do it on that, and just to see how this works. I don't know if any of you have entertained the Theta Fortress, or as I'm calling this, the warranted wheel, as I may enter it via sell put, right? If I'm going to buy the shares, I feel like I have to sell a put. But, again, if the market's trending down, then why not play the game with it, right? Why not play with the downtrend? I know we've been green recently, and that's wonderful, but, we can't just rely on one direction anymore. We have to play both sides. We have to make money on both sides. So I don't know. I'll think about it over the weekend, and hopefully have something for you guys next week. All right. Anyway, enough yip yap. Let's get to one of the Rody positions. It's called open. Open is crap. Don't play it on open. Don't do it. It's not been doing well. Again, interest rates, they're not, there's like no sign of hope there. And they're really kind of relying on interest rate cut and some good news overall in the economy, and it's just not happening. So open, of course, is not performing well. You could see it's at 474. When I started this position, the thing was at 719. So it's nearly cut in half. So obviously, yeah, in a position like this, it's not ideal. Like, this was not the plan. Like, the plan is not for it to go down, but that's why we buy this little put here, right? This protects us anything under 5. So we are under 5 now. So this thing is, essentially protecting us. But what I'm doing in the meantime, again, this synthetic, it does expire in November of 26 this year. So we got some time. So that's why I didn't completely jump out. But, this week I sold 2 calls. Why the hell not, right? It hit 451, it hit 470. I sold a call, $7, $7. How much did I make? Not much. I made about what, $23. And again, if I look at that $23 down here, total at risk on this position is $3,830. That's actually a annualized yield of 31%. So all things considered, as crappy as the spot that we're in, that's not bad. That's not terrible. It's better than the last 2 weeks, of course. And then we had 3 calls expiring yesterday. Not yesterday, Thursday, because the market closed on Thursday. Friday was Good Friday. The market was closed that day. But anyway, they expired on the Thursday and they expired worthless. So these essentially will be grayed out, hidden, and we move on. All right. So now this is what we're left with. So we got a whole bunch of calls at $7 strike. Is this in danger of getting assigned? Hell to the no. I wish it was. I really do. So I have 7 contracts and I have 3 to play with. So I can make money on open as we wait until some good news happens. The other option is I get out of it, right? And I get out of the synthetic and I pay $4.35 and I move on. Or I just keep making money week in, week out, see how it goes. Hopefully things turn around. But if they don't, my max loss possibility on the synthetic alone could be $2,000. Again, always understand your max loss, and really, if you can, sustain that, is it worth it to risk 2,000, right? And that's just on the sell. Don't forget the expense of purchasing it. So, but again, I don't know. It's been a rough go. Let me check the comments. After all, you guys are here. So Double D, what's going on? Wolf, good morning. Yeah, I need sleep, man. Need sleep. All right, I'm drinking coffee. Here you go. How's that? Better? I think I'm awake now. All right. Yeah, I'm on both channels, by the way. Retire on options, retire on dividends. Like I said, I'm going to do that until retire on options. It hits at least 1,000 subscribers, and it's up and running. Good morning, Parabolic. Good morning, Alan. Options King over here. Let's see. Good morning, LA. Options Appliance Guy. New name. Jaband. What's up, Jaband? Jobs report was great. When was that? I don't know. I'll take it. If you say so. Put credit spread. One on what? I don't know what you're referencing. Sorry. Like on SPX. This is your favorite show. Yeah. I don't know. The put credit spread part of it. I know you know how the Rody works. So I don't know if you're talking about the Theta Fortress thing. But it was on Friday. Oh, okay. Sweet. So Monday may be green. All right. There's some freaking hope in our life, right? All right. Let's take a look at SoFi. So SoFi is another one, man. Again, wrong place, wrong time, right? I started in a SoFi position. I said, you know what? SoFi long term, I think it's a good stock. But again, what the hell do I know? Individual stock risk is always very, very high risk. And you could see when I started this position, it was at $26.31. So I started a synthetic at 25. But, I said to myself, I'm going to do one freaking contract at a time. I don't care how cheap this stock is. I'm just going to do one at a time in case it tanks. And guess what? It tanked. It went down to 23. Okay, I added 23. Went down to 20. Okay, I added 20. Went down to 18. Okay, I added 18. Went down to 16. All right, I added the 15. And now it's at 15.85. I had a 15 because they didn't have a 16, but 15 is fine with me. But yeah, it's not. I mean, if it goes to 10, unfortunately, yes, I'm sticking to the strategy as much as it hurts. But I did change my strategy when selling calls because I wanted you guys to keep something in mind. I am averaging, yes, I'm averaging the average cost basis. It's right here, 5 contracts. My synthetic average is 2020. The idea behind that, okay, I'm going to sell calls at 2020 or above, right? Simple, pretty simple. However, here's the issue. It's at $15.85. If I sell a call at $21, I ain't getting crap. If I go out a month, I'm still getting crap. I'd have to go out months, and I'm not doing that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the last one I opened, and I'm making it its own little lot, its own little average. So essentially, I'm selling calls on one contract. This one, the 15. All right. So I took it and I said, you know what? I'm going to sell a call. And I did. I sold a call for $16. That is above, obviously, the $15 average of that individual. And guess what? 44 bucks. Boom. Instead of sitting on my ass, waiting to sell calls at 21, I'm selling calls on an individual basis. And you know what? If the worst case scenario is it gets blown through, freaking fantastic. You know why? Because I got this one, and I got this one, and I got another one. So go ahead, make my day. Blow through my freaking strike. I will roll this thing out as far as I need to. I don't care. And if it drops, okay, what else is new? At least I made premium on the drop. All right, so that's kind of how I'm handling my SoFi strategy instead of sitting on my ass like I have been. You know, if you go down here, I've had what? I've had 2 weeks of nothing. 2 weeks of nothing. And that was a mistake on my end. I should have done this earlier. But again, I didn't have the time to, I don't know, smack myself in the face to do it. But anyway, since I made $44, my total risk, is this right? 3609 is, I feel like it should be more. We got the synthetic and the spread. Gotta add them up for each. $56.34. Q 12, 13. 12 and 13. Yeah, so that's the last one. I got 2 more to add. Whoops. Whoopsie. All right, so we will do this. Uh, 15 plus 16 plus 18 plus 19. All right, so now it's a little more costly, but that's okay. That's okay. Whatever. We know. You got to spend money to make money. All right, let's see. We can lock these cells in. We can copy it down, then we can move on with our lives, right? I know you guys love when I play with spreadsheets here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, there you go. So we're at 56.34 then. Sorry about that. All right, so where's my 44, whatever the hell I made? $44 on 5,634. Again, that's how much I'm risking total. 40% yield. Hey, not bad, bro. Not bad. I'll take that all day. Better than zero. Okay, does that make sense? All right, let me get to the comments. Got to keep current here. Yeah, the Fortress thing. Yeah, no, it's a buy put. You buy the stocks. You buy, say, 100 shares. Say at $10. You buy the put at 12. Right? It's a little more costly, but it protects your ass if it goes down. Because the put obviously becomes even more and more and more valuable should that individual stock go down, right? Because you'll have the right to sell it at what, $12, whatever the freaking put was. If you bought it at 10, that's a $200 profit right off the bat. But there's an expense to the put. Again, I can't really give it justice, so I'm not going to talk any further about it because I need to actually do it I'm just one of those people. I have to actually do the trade. I'd rather lose money and learn it than pretend like I know it from reading, something. All right. So I don't have any issue selling below cost on SoFi. It doesn't move much and it doesn't move fast. Yeah, that's for sure. I still like to be, calculated about it though and have a strategy. Like for example, like this $15 one, I should have sold the 15 realistically. Like what do I care? But the problem is if it goes past 16, then at least the next one up is 18 and I could sell at 18 if it goes past 16 if that makes sense. So I like to be close in the interval situation here. But I feel a little better about my SoFi position now that I'm doing this. But again, this SoFi position, I opened this sucker and this thing expires June, not of this year, okay? Not of next year, but the year after that. And if SoFi goes bankrupt, that doesn't mean crap. Yes, I understand that. But hell, that's the risk. This freaking risk. Duh. All right, let's move on. Elf. Freaking Elf, man. What am I going to do with you? Wolf says, I'm amazed that you can do spreadsheets on the fly since I am computer illiterate. No, it's there's a lot that I don't even know when it comes to spreadsheets. And I don't even use, like for my job, I'm on Excel all day. I don't use Google Sheets. So, and they're not exactly the same. They're close, but I'm actually better on Excel than Google Sheets. But I don't know. It's now getting close. Like it's pretty close because I use Google Sheets like for everything. Let's see, Man Up and Theta Fortress on MSTU. I mean, why not, right? But again, I told myself I'm done with options on freaking crypto-related crap, just because, I mean, if I buy a put MSTU, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't, because it is a good one to do it on, because MSTU does just go down, but I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, anyway, let's look at Elf. I hate you, Elf. I don't know why I didn't cut ties with Elf. But I didn't do anything this week. I just looked at Elf drop and I lost money. So, yay. Look at this. If I sold out of it now, I'd lose $1,262. The max is $1,500. What the hell's the difference? $240? I might as well just hold it at this point, right? Freaking Elf. I screwed that one up, though. I got to be smarter with these moves here. All right, IWM index, obviously, doing decent. Let's check it out. Let's check out the 1 week here. We got the 5-day up 1.56%. The 1 month, all right, we're down 3.87. The 1 day, they up, yeah. So we've been doing good. And from what I'm hearing in the chat, Monday may be green. So that's good. That's good. But who knows, man? Who knows? All right, whatever. Anyway, so I have an average cost basis, one contract. And don't forget, this is IWM. This is an index. Indexes are not cheap. I can't be adding contracts on indexes. IWM is the cheapest one, but still, it's $265. Like we broke asses. We can't be adding contracts on this left and right. Oh, that's good. But when I get rid of Elf, when I get rid of all these other losers, I'll have more money to do that. So, which we'll talk about. But anyway, I did sell a call on IWM this week, and it was on March 31st. Sold a call, 410 expiration. So I went out to the following week because obviously we had a short week this week. And the strike price is 5%, 5.44% out of the money. So it wouldn't have paid me much if I stayed in the same week. So I went to the next week, 10 days, 10 DTE. And the premium on that was $73. So still a decent chunk, I have to say. Again, sold call at my cost basis. So if IWM goes up over 260, yippee, I will be jumping for freaking joy. All right. So anyway, I made 73. I'm risking 4,269. See, so this was the expense, the risk overall for the IWM. So again, if I wanted to add the IWM, it's going to be like another 4K, 3,500, 4K. Yeah, that's a lot of money for me. Anyway, That's an 88% annualized yield. So that's good. I'm back in business, baby. I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. Rody's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? All right. Anyway, used to love Eminem. Anyway, IWM. What are they worth? Who cares? I'm playing this game. I'm not getting out of IWM ever. I'm only adding to it if I can afford it. But this synthetic does expire January of 2027. The next index position I do create, I will pick the absolute furthest expiration. All right, that's my plan, regardless of cost. But I do love IWM, but I love the Qs even more. The Qs are fantastical. All right. Let me check the comments before we get into the Qs. All right. Scatter-dee-doo. Remember that? Remember scatter-dee-doo? All right. EOSE. Yeah. I know Tesla Group was complaining about that one. Did they tank that bad? EOSE. Let's see. I don't even know what the hell they are, to be honest. Let's do 5-day. 5-day up 3. 1 month down 12. Oh, damn. There it is. Year to date down 56. I mean, that's brutal. But I mean, don't I know it, man? I'm in funds that are crap too. That's why I'm going to stick to the Qs, because you can't hurt the Qs. You can't. I mean, if Qs go down, it's not much. All right, let's see. Unless there's news, yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Everyone with me so far? I know I'm like over the place this morning. But I got to get hyped up. I got to get my ass to the gym. And then to a pickup baseball game for the kids. All right, so let's look at the Qs. So Qs, this synthetic expires December of this year. 615 is the cost basis. The Qs have been dropping, so they're at 584. So it's a little harder to trade the Qs, but I did trade the Qs. Same thing with that I did with IWM. I went out to 410. That was a 9 DTE at the time, 5.35% out of the money. How much did it pay me? Not much. Not much at all, actually. $16. I know that's a freaking joke. So, but what do? Sit on my ass or make $16? I make $16. Look at the delta on that. 0.02. But Rowdy, why did you not sell calls under lower calls? Because this is 5% out of the money. What am I going to do? It's 4%, 3% of the money. I mean, I know it's an index, but it still can move. In 9 days, I think it could blow through this in 9 days. To be honest, I was surprised this only paid $16. But I got to take what I can get. So, no, I was not comfortable. Even at 610, I'm not doing it. Screw it. I'm sticking to what I'm comfortable with, and that's how it's going to work. Does that make sense, Chico? All right, anyway. So look at the risk on this freaking thing. Here, let me show you on this screen. So again, the synthetic expense of this position, $6,100. I mean, good God. Good God, that's a lot of money. The spread, the possible additional downside is 2,500. That's the credit put spread, right? That's the gap between them. So my total at risk is $8,600. That's no joke, bruh. All right, this account, it barely got 50. Not even at 50 anymore. Mortgage just came out. So 8,600 is a large chunk of this sucker. So anyway, if I make $16 on 8,600, that's a 9% annualized yield. Is that good? No, but it's better than zero, right? Anything's better than zero, but you get the point. But here's the again, synthetic wise, is it worth money? Yeah, it's worth about what, 2,000. But again, we're not selling it, so it doesn't really matter. And you could look again, if you look at the expense of the synthetic, that's on this screen, 6,100 out of pocket. How much have I been making on covered calls? Well, I'm adding that up down here. I made already 5,463. All right. And look how many weeks I have left. I have plenty of weeks to pay off the original investment and then just continue to make anything on top. So house money paid, boom. That's the plan. But in the meantime, yeah, I ran this and that, all this crap's going on. But even so, the indexes have not dropped too bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not too bad, right? Don't you guys feel that way? All right, let me check up on the comments. What's going on? Sticking with you, even though I haven't played a Rody yet. If you do, try the index, man. Not financial advice. It's fun, man. It's fun. It's just a cheaper way. Like, how else am I going to do options on the Qs? I can't afford that. All right, learn it together. Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. All right. Alan, I do the Rody. Wolf, I'm still playing the wheel and still learning. Yeah, we're all learning every single day. I learn, I make mistakes over and over again. I never learn, actually. I always sometimes I make the same mistake. All right, anyway, let's check out the VIX position. So the VIX, in case you don't know, I trade options on the VIX. The VIX is the fear index, right? It goes up, it goes down, it goes all around. Here's the VIX historical chart. I'll probably have to get an updated one. But basically, on big, scary events, the VIX goes up, right? Black Monday, looks to be the highest ever, 172. I don't think we'll see that again, hopefully in our lifetime. 9/11 was only 44. Global financial crisis in 2008, 89. COVID, it went to 85. Yen carry trade, 65. Tariff, 60. Iran now 30, right? Maybe it went to 30. I don't know. But the moral of the story is when we were kind of, at all-time highs, the market was bullish, everything was great. The VIX was chilling, man. It was chilling at 14, right? It was, I don't think, I can't pull up the VIX on there, but so I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy a leap at 14, right? I bought a leap at 14. If it goes up, if the market gets fearful, I'll sell it and make money. But in the end, I didn't do that. In the end, I just bought a leap and I sold calls. So think of it like a poor man's covered call on the VIX. So I sold a leap at 14, a 9/16 expiration, and I've been selling calls week in and week out since. All right. So this week I had a $25 call. By the way, their options expire Wednesday morning. So if you're going to roll them, you're going to have to do it Tuesday afternoon. All right. So I did that, right? Tuesday afternoon, 3:31. I did a rolling order. At the time, the VIX was at 25.85. Obviously, I was in the money. It's okay. I rolled the 25 to a 25, and it paid me $115. So that is a no brainer. No brainer at all. Again, don't forget the expense of the leap was $800, right? So to make $115 in 1 week for a position I open is 257 days long, again, this thing is going to pay off itself very fast. So this is my savior, to be honest, in this market. Had I opened more of these, I'd be even like jumping for joy. But even the fact that I have one, I'm having a blast doing it. And maybe my timing, I got lucky. I don't know. But anyway, I made 115. Again, risking 800. That's a 747% annualized yield. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's what it is. And look how many more weeks I have to play around with. So again, 672 so far is what I made, right? Yeah. So total out of pocket as of right now is 128. So probably 1 or 2 more weeks and I'll be in house money. And then anything after that is just income. And then when all's said and done, come September, what am I going to do with the leap? Well, if it's above 14, it could make money, right? So I'll sell it and I'll make whatever. I know the VIX is tricky with the value of it, so it's not really like straightforward, and I'm good with that. I don't really care because, it's got its own problems, whatever. It works, and I'm not messing. I don't care. It works, and that's it. That's the end of the story. All right. Sorry, I had to take a sip of coffee. All right. Anyway, does that make sense, peoples? Let's see what we got. Learning journey. Love being on this journey with you friends. How do you make money off the same contract if you only have one over and over again? You just do it weekly, you know, do it week in, week out. Like the VIX, I have one contract. That's all I can use. I sell it 1 week out. Guess what? Next week, I'll roll it again. And I can make money each and every week if all things work out. If things don't work out, I may have to just wait, not do a trade, or I may have to sell a call maybe 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. But again, yeah, that'll be a gap in income, of course, if that was your question. If not, let me know. All right. The options are my play money. I mean, I kind of hate when people say that. It's your hard-earned money, man. There is no play money. It's all freaking real money, right? I get it. You can risk it, which is awesome, right? It's awesome. But don't, just because it's quote unquote play money, that doesn't mean we play like, you know, here, hand it out. Here you go, or just burn it, you know, throw it in the fire. All right. So Alan says, for the Rody, you want a solid stock you feel good about, not something real volatile, like nothing crypto. See, me and Alan, we're on the same page. An index would be nice, but they are pricey to start a couple thousand. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Parabolic answering for me. So do you rent the shares then for the 115? I assume you're talking about the VIX. So basically, yeah, you can look at it that way. I'm renting the VIX. I mean, to be honest, you can't buy the VIX anyway. So you can only do options on the VIX. But yes, I'm renting 100 shares on the VIX through a leap, through a buy call. And I am selling calls against the rented shares. So I'm renting them. I own them at 14. I'm selling calls against them at 25. What's the gap there? You know, $1,100, $11, $100 shares, 1,100. So that is obviously above 800, which was the goal. Can the Rody work if you can only do monthly options? Well, I mean, yeah, but you got to keep in mind the problem with the Rody versus the wheel is the Rody has an expiration. Okay. So if you look at my ELF position, for example, like look at my ELF position. What's the problem here? This is the problem. The date is the problem. Do I think ELF can recover? Absolutely. Do I think they can recover by May 15th? Hell no. So that's the problem. All right. So again, if you do monthly options, that's your income for that entire month. So your expiration date, like you got to calculate, all right, how many weeks or how many months is it going to take for me to pay off my original investment? All right. If you say it takes the entire term, which is basically up to expiration date, then don't do it. That's stupid. You know, that is not worth it. But if you can make your money back in halfway through to the expiration, be it house money halfway through, everything after that is income, great. You know, so you got to kind of, and again, Rob's website, he has the Rody in here, by the way, and he does map that out, which is very helpful. Granted, I don't use it as much because I'm so spreadsheet driven that I have to do it on spreadsheets. But he, you know, if you wanted to just search a fund, he does have all the information, which is pretty damn good. But you know, hopefully that helped answer the question. Where are we at here? Wolf, yes, Rody is really 2 parts, the synthetic and the covered call. If you sell it, how do you still have to sell again? I guess is what I'm saying to comprehend. I'm a newbie. You sell it. Why? I mean, I don't have to sell it again. I don't have to do anything, actually. So when I create the synthetic position, you know, the reason I'm creating it is because I want to sell calls. I hate when this thing pops up here. There you go. Again, I'm essentially shelling out money to create a pretend position, right? Synthetic position that I'm going to basically generate an income off of. This is pure income strategy here. That's all it is. Think of the synthetic and just replacing owning the shares. And it's a cheaper way to do it because if you own the shares, and I show that over here, if you look here, if you own the shares, it would cost you $8,500. If you own the shares of ELF at 85. But instead, my expense is $2,751. So the savings is $5,749. So that is the reason I'm doing this. Maybe that's what you're getting at. What the hell's the point of it? But that is the reason. That is one big reason that I do it. There's many other reasons, but that's a huge one. And again, look at the Qs. The Qs are the number one example of why. How much does it cost to do the wheel on the Qs? $61,500. I mean, do you believe this? I'm like, seriously? To sell a put on Qs at 615, it's 61,000. I mean, what? That's more than my account. I can't. So forget about it, right? So anyway, but how much does it cost to do a Rody on it? Well, 6,100 plus the 2,500 downside, $8,600. $8,600 versus 61.5. Yeah, that's a 52.9 savings. Okay, that is why. But again, what is the downside? The biggest downside to me is this freaking date. There is an end date. If you're doing the wheel, there is no end date. You can hold those shares and let that thing recover as long as you need to. But on the Rody, you better hope by that date you do your thing. You make some money. All right, hopefully that helped. Great question, Abel. This will be good, really, for the VIX. I love my VIX trade. Okay, Abel says, oh, by the way, welcome, Abel, Matthew. I don't think I've ever seen you on here. Good to have new peeps. Again, what channel you guys on, by the way? I don't even know which one I shared, to be honest. Okay, I get that. Thanks. You get paid the difference. If it done, go over the strike price before expiration. But even if it goes over the strike, it's not a big deal, right? We can roll it. And that's going to happen. Again, it has happened many times. So just wait till the market recovers. You'll see. I'll be dealing with it, and you'll see how, how we work it. I don't know if you're talking to each other or what. Synthetic is a leap. Well, part of it's a leap. It's a three-legged monster. The buy call is a leap, 6 months to a year, I believe, or 6 months plus is considered a leap, maybe. Yeah, my SoFi is way out there. I mean, good thing because SoFi is in the dumpster right now. Both. Oh yeah, well, that's why Wolf is the man. He's on. Oh, he's always on both channels. Yeah, ROO. Roo. The OG channel. Okay. All right, that's fine. I don't care. Again, I'm just trying to build up subs on the other one too. So if you're not subscribed to Retire on Options, go check it out. This video is posting to both, of course, or you can watch it on both. How exciting is that? All right. Anyway, let's move on. Where were we? We're talking about the VIX. So here's my VIX tracker. So as of Thursday, the VIX was at what, 23? It dropped a lot. Look at that, man. Week over week. So the market is not as fearful. 31 to 23. Interesting. IV dropped to 114%. Look at that IV, by the way. That is a sweet ass IV. This is why I'm making money. Like, and I've been saying this over and over again. Like, how are more people not doing this? I don't get it. I seriously, I looked, I researched. I didn't really see anyone doing this. But hey, I don't know. Maybe something bad will happen. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Who knows? All right. Anyway, so paper value. What is this? What is this calculus? So anyway, the value of the leap, by the way, is worth $972. So $972 if I close it out today. Okay. So think about that. That's good. On top of, you saw how much I made already. So I'm already good. Like, I'm good. on this trade. I'm good. All right. What about the wheel, sucker? You've been wheeling and dealing. What about the wheel? Well, I had 2 puts on TSLL, an 11 and a 10. They closed at 11.37. So guess what? Both expired worthless. All right. There they are. Expired worthless. And guess what? If it dropped below 11, I honestly wouldn't care. I would take the shares. Again, I'm playing TSLL a little differently than I used to in the past, and I'm being a little more patient because when TSLL is going to run up, I am going to be taking advantage of that, and I'm going to get not only some capital appreciation, but I am going to get some sweet ass income. All right, does that make sense? All right, so we can hide these. We can move on. Oh, wait, did I lock in? Let me make sure I lock in the expense here. Sorry to make everyone dizzy. 5,900. Yes, so 11. All right, so I want to, I know it probably doesn't make sense for you guys, but when I take this out, it calculates more out of pocket. Where is it? Doesn't it? Puts 1,500. Where is it? Where is the formula? All right, let's see. All right, I'm not messing around. It doesn't matter. Whatever, 5,900. Let's just assume that. And we'll fix it later. But for this week, I didn't make much, man. It wasn't worth it to me. But I did sell 1 put at a 410 expiration. I went as low as $9 on the strike price, 19% out of the money, and I made $11. Do I think it's going to go to 9? No, I don't. But if it does, whatever, man. So I made 11 bucks this week. And is that a lot? No, it's not. It's a joke, right? It is. But whatever. Where am I here? There we go. $11 on 5,900. Yeah, annualized. Where is it? 9.69%. But in the meantime, I have 400 shares, 18, 14, 13, 12. Those are my cost basis. They average to 14.25. I'm not going to touch these until TSLL decides to recover. In the meantime, I am just making money on selling puts. So I'm not on the call side. I know that's counterproductive, like versus what I'm doing. Like on SoFi, I'm selling calls on individual lots, individual shares, but I'm not going to do that here because I want to wait and I'm going to watch when TSLL jumps and recovers, which it will. But the question is, will it do that? Before it goes into the single digits, will it do that before it hits $5? I don't know, but that's the risk we're playing here with the wheel. All right. Let me just, again, I'm keeping up on the comments here. I don't want to get too far behind. Kind of hard asking the question, and he sees it after he has already moved past, but I'm still getting it answered. Well, yeah, if I just answer questions, obviously that'll be easier, but I have to do some of the coverage. I mean, at the end, I'll just do questions if you have more. Let's see. Parabolic needs to pop in the Discord more. Some great folks ask questions. Yes, she does. I agree. I may be asking the questions the wrong way too. Sorry if I slow the stream down. Hey, ask away, man. I don't care. Slow it down. This is what it's about. I need to use Discord more. Yeah, that's really like if you have just like a random question, just pop in, boom. You'll get an answer from someone. There's people with years and years of options experience. Rod has a Discord, some great folks. I was a 1 for a decade, then I changed. All right, let me keep going, but I'm keeping an eye on the chat. All right, so that's the wheel. And yes, I added a tab for high yield dividends because, again, I said it before, less time for options. I'm not going to lie. I don't have, I went a little crazy with the Roddies this year. Had to slow down a little bit. I don't really have much time during the week at all. I mean, Roddy kind of works out because it's a Friday movement. The VIX is a Tuesday, which is fine. It's just one trade, but it's just hard to have the time to do all of the options. So I'm going to limit my options. Basically, the long-term plan is Roddy indexes, Qs and IWM, wheel on TSLL, and high yield dividends. And it's going to be like, what are the high yield dividends? So again, so far STRC it's by far my favorite one. Like I love this. I love STRC. But again, it's not really, it's a lot of my portfolio already. I got like 100 shares. So they paid me $95.83 this week, which is fantastic, but that's not going to pay the bills, unfortunately. So, and I did just add SATA this week, by the way. So I will, I'll add 10 a pop. If they drop, I'll add 10 more, they randomly. Chippy paid me $12.27 this week. GDXY is paying Monday. So I'll have 2 payments for them next week. T-Spy paid $20.07. That's a once a month payment. So that's why it's a chunker. QQQ should pay on Monday as well. So 2 payments for them next week. And then TSLL, believe it or not, yes, they pay a dividend, a quarterly dividend, and they paid $29.82. So the total dividends for this week is $165. So now if I add that with the options premium was $282, which I know it's not a lot considering. The total of both is $447.99. My bills that come out of the account is $2,000 a month, which comes to about $500 per week. So my goal week in and week out at a minimum is to make $500 per week. I did not meet that requirement this week. I am short $52, but hopefully I can make it up next week. I'd rather, play it safe and not make the goal than be aggressive and make stupid decisions just to make the goal. So that is my plan moving forward. All right. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. All right. Let me catch up on the comments. Hard to catch during the day. I'm sleeping. Well, it's always active though. I know the Discord will help me more too. Come on, the evening. Yeah, I mean the weekends are the best time because you can plan for the week. I thought about setting up a paper account. I mean, everyone's different. Set up a paper account. That's one way to learn. Or you learn with real money. I'm the person that I have to lose. I have to play with real money. Like I don't play poker with fake money, right? I don't play fantasy football for free. I gotta play with real money. Nice. He's going on a boat. Snap. Sounds fun to me. I'm going to chase kids around for quite a few hours. I'm around all evening, but even if you pop on catch, I'll leave a question. Someone will answer you. What site has good paper trading? I had that list. I forget where it is, but I know Thinkorswim does, I believe, but there's a couple others. But yeah, just Google it, man. It'll come up. All right, sounds like a Discord party after this video. All right, so here is what I share on X, just a better visual. So you can see the income for the week, 447. That's with high yields, the wheel, the poor man's covered call for the VIX, and the Roddy. All right, so I have various strategies going on here, which is all good. And then here's the ASAP positions, like where we stand. What really matters is down here Like, what is the as at value? What is our return on investment? We are down. We are down heavily on Open. We are down on SoFi. We are down on ELF. Everyone else we're up on. IWM, we're up 8%. The Qs were up 23, and the VIX were up 101%. But overall, as a portfolio, it looks like we are down. So again, right now, I think a lot of people are down. So I'm not gonna, cry the blues about it. Things will get better. But again, yeah, I'm gonna cut ties with ELF very soon. Again, they expire next month, so I got to do something with these positions. I was hoping to get a little recovery. So maybe if we are green Monday, that's the day I'll step out of ELF and I'll move on, and then I'll have one less position, which is fantastic. And then the next one to go is Open, and then I'll be left with SoFi and the 2 indexes, which is great. Oh yeah, ex-dividend date has passed for IWM and Qs. It obviously was not a concern of getting assigned because I wasn't even selling calls at the time because they were so freaking low. But anyway, what else? So that's it, actually. That's what else. So I'll leave it here and do some Q&A maybe. Zoom out a little. There you go. All right, so Abel, this is the Q&A part. What do you got? If not, we just play music and we drink our coffee. I just want to through the site setup. It's not the money part and how to use the site. Yeah, Think or Swim. I love it. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. Sorry, it's the best. Like I said, I want to know what I'm clicking on. Yeah, but you can use a live account. That's what I did. Like when I learned, I was just clicking on options trades and see it, like how it works, what they're priced at, and then it's important. Like I love to plug in like the numbers, right? So, and if you're just starting options, I would say start with the wheel strategy. Don't even think about the Rody. Don't think about a poor man's covered call. Learn the wheel, learn how to sell puts and go from there, right? Will you please walk through the basics quick of the Rody? Okay. All right, so let's go to the beginning. I have a sample. It's a little old, but we'll use it. All right, 200%. All right, so if we look again, forget the name, right? It's basically, what do they call it? They call it a synthetic combo plus a something, I forget, whatever. A collar, plus a collar, synthetic combo collar, maybe, I don't know. That's why I just say Rody. It's called the Rody. But it's 3 legs. Think of it as 3 legs. Same expiration date on those 3 legs. Okay. First leg, buy call. This is the main leg. Think of it, poor man's covered call. You're just buying a leap, right? You're buying a call. The expiration date is up to you. That's when it expires. That's when time runs out, right? Is that, okay? So you buy the leap, and as the long-term expiration, 6 months, a year, 2 years out, whatever. And then you sell a put. You sell a put at that same strike price, and you choose the same expiration. And what does that do? That offsets, see this expense of $2,700, it offsets it by $1,824. So now I'm only paying $876. However, I'm not going to do that by itself, because as soon as I sell that put, I have to put up collateral for 100 shares at $250. Obviously, that's a lot of money, $25,000. We're not doing that. So we're going to buy a put. All right. So we're going to have a little spread there. 250 minus the 35. That is our new collateral. $15 times 100. 1,500 is our new collateral versus the 25,000. But we have to pay 1,285. So the offset against the 2,700, it was 1,824, but now instead, since we had to buy the put, it's now 539. So the 3-legged monster has an expense of 2,161. So why are you spending $2,161? What is the point? Well, again, you want to create an income vehicle. You want to generate an income. So you're using that money to make approximately, say, $200 a week or whatever a week. And then eventually the idea behind it is it'll pay off the investment, and then it'll just be, paying your bills after that. It'll all be a profit at some point. But things have to go your way. The market has to trade flat, move up a little, move down a little, whatever. Not drop drastically, because that kind of changes things. But that's it. You sell calls every week, every week, every week. Until this expiration, maybe. It depends how it plays out. Again, you have to see how it goes. I don't learn unless I have money in the game. Yeah, I'm the same exact way. I'm on Robinhood, but I can't tell what's going on. On pick and sell call option, if it's in the money, out of the money. Watch this. Yeah, I learned on Robinhood though, so it's doable. It's doable. All three legs in the same order. I mean, you could do them all at the same time. You could buy them all at the same time, spend the money, or do it individually. I think it's smarter to just do it all at once, all as one transaction. So you click buy call, strike, sell put, strike. You want to make sure the signage too is correct. But, buy call +1, sell put -1, buy put +1, and then make sure you do, pick the appropriate strikes that you want. In theory, the covered call pay off your costs in about 12 weeks. Yeah. Well, again, the timing of it, that's for you to decide what you think you could make. I mean, we know what we're making now, right? You see, though, there's some weeks I didn't make anything. So that kind of changes things, right? But in the beginning, I mean, the Qs were dominant. Look how much I was making on the Qs. Look, 650, that's 1 week. But then next week was 290. So it changes. This week was 16. But obviously, you could see it. We made what, 5,463. Our expense was 6,100. So how much longer till we pay off that? Very soon. And then we're going to be playing with freaking house money, man. That's what it's all about. I'm going to find a really cheap call option. Hey, why not sell puts, Abel? Matthew. I wouldn't start with leaps. I would not start with synthetics. Sell calls every week, or do you mean sell the Rody? No, sell calls every week against the long call. Again, yes, there's 3 legs, but you're really only selling calls against the buy call. All right. So you sell weekly calls against the leap, which is one of the 3 legs. Is the cover call separate from the 3-legged order? You could do it as one. Sometimes on the when you enter the 3 legs, sometimes yes, I do sell the call at the same time as well, but that has a 1-week expiration. But it may be cleaner to do it separate. Visually, I like to see them separate. I like to see the 3-leg, boom, and then I wait, and then I sell a call either that day, or if I think the market's going to be green later or tomorrow, then maybe I'll wait. But again, this is not about timing the market. Okay, or put that. Yeah, just think about like selling a put. All right, what's a stock you like? What's a stock you wouldn't mind owning? And what price would you not mind owning at? Start with that. Just one with max loose already fixed. Question: when you say sell calls every week, does that mean roll one of the 3 legs? Again, the 3-leg with the further expiration, forget about it. Once you open them, you don't touch them. They go in the corner. They're left alone. After that, you're just selling that. Again, assuming it's one contract, you're just selling a weekly call with a Friday expiration, and you're typically just rolling it week in and week out. You may let it expire. You don't know. You may say, all right, Friday sold off big time. I'll wait till the Monday increase, Monday jump, and I'll sell calls Monday. But you don't have to always have a call either. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I do have to run to the gym, but we'll continue this conversation in the Discord under the options trading channel. Please provide the Discord link someone, if you can. Have you done options before? My spelling. So I own 100 shares of whatever the Rody is. No. You don't own anything, technically. You own a synthetic position, which gives you the right to sell on those 100 shares. Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to continue this conversation in the Discord because I do have to run. Gotta leave some time for my workout. I'm gonna play the Rody song, call it a day, but we can keep the chat going while the music plays. As always, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, come back tomorrow. Hey, you're making me want to do tomorrow just Q&A. Options Q&A. Should I do that? Sunday morning Q&A, options Q&A. Let me know. All right. Think of a keyword, guys. I'm going to play the Rody song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo! Yeah. Early mornings before the sunlight, house still sleeping. Screens already lit, one desk, one plan. Every click gotta mean something. Born in the garage, one outlet, one extension. Pressure taught discipline, not talking, just intention. No suit fed my confidence, no hand-me-down plays. Bills on the counter taught me risk has a face. They said trust the system, I trusted the work. Every loss paid tuition, every win left a scar. I heard a cricket in the quiet, steady chirp in the dark. Like patience beats panic when you're playing it smart. If I eat, that's on me. If I fall, same name. From the people for the people, no shame in the gang. This ain't Wall Street. This Rody, hey. Bang for the buck, move slow, move low. Stack that premium, protect my six. Upside open, but I hedge that risk. This ain't luck, I'm ready. Garage born mine with the market steady. Yeah, I don't chase green candles, I monetize waiting. They the working daily while they guessing and praying. Risk defined entry, exit already mapped. Know what I lose before the order gets tapped. Premium stacking, structure over sensation. Volatility, paying rent with no conversation. I don't need direction, I trade behavior. Let emotion burn out, let the numbers stay paper. Fast money, flashy, but it fades when it's pressed. I want repeatable wins with my downside dress. Not a lottery ticket, this a blueprint I trust. Level the field, get more bang for the buck. This ain't Wall Street, this Rody. Bang for the buck, move slow, move low key. Stack that premium, protect my six. Upside open, but I hedge that risk. This ain't luck, I'm ready. Garage born mine with the market steady. Raj, cricket, patience built in the minutes. Risk known, I don't trade what I don't own. Not for everyone, let's keep it exact. Pressure make diamonds, not internet caps. No handouts, no hero, no suit to impress. Just structure, discipline, time doing reps. Rody the method, remember the name. From the people, for the people, but not everyone plays. Born in a garage, born in a garage, yeah, born in the garage, inspired by cricket. Built for the people, but not everyone gets it. Born in a garage.
All right, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say that keyword. How about the keyword today is see in the Discord? There you go. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video and you would like to prove it to myself and all the other suckers out there, keyword today, see in the Discord. No, but for real, let me know in the comments if you want to see instead of Guestamania tomorrow, I could just do a, actually, I might not even go live tomorrow because it's Easter. Never mind. Crap. Or maybe Monday. Maybe Monday we'll do that. All right. Let me know. Either way, I'm out of here. Have a good one. Later.